You ever been to Italy?
Yes, when I was very little, we were robbed on the train from Nice to Venice, so it wasn't a great trip.
You were robbed?
Yes, our whole train was robbed.
By outlaws?
By Italian train thieves. They actually...
This is the greatest story I've ever heard.
But apparently they drugged us.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Sadly, yes. I woke up to my dad screaming, "We've been robbed!"
Oh, no!
Yeah, you're kidding, but they stole my Game Boy games, which was devastating to me at the time.
This is a terrible story.
Yes. So apparently someone else, there was a British woman who was writing an article about Italian train thieves. So she and her husband were taking turns staying up all night, feeling like it might happen. So the guys came into their compartment, grabbed their suitcase, and her husband chased the train thieves down the hallway, and they're rifling through the bag as they're running, and they go, "Oh, you don't have it." I can't do an Italian accent. Pretend it's an Italian accent. "You don't have anything great," and threw it back. He didn't pursue them further, but yeah, they robbed our whole train.
How did they administer the drugs to get you to fall asleep?
They said, this sounds ridiculous, but it's true. They said they apparently sprayed something in our room that made us all knock out and not wake up because, oh, they were also in cahoots with the train conductors. So they had the keys.
I didn't even see that coming.
I know.
I didn't even see it coming.
I know. They had the keys to all of our train compartments.
Oh, no!
Yes.
We really should do a movie about this.
On Yahoo, screen.
Yeah, on Yahoo.
When I was 12, my parents divorced, and it was a bad time. And my brother
Never
and
a
I,
good time when people get divorced.
Never a good time.
It's hard.
And we were sent off to live with our grandparents, and he had a little gentleman's farm. And you know, we had chores to do. Right next to us was an egg ranch, and we would eggs, and we worked on this egg ranch. And then our grandfather was a German descent, real tough guy.
Does he talk like this?
It talks like this. "What the hell are you doing? Let me show you what the hell we do here." So he was like, he wanted to teach us a life lesson, so we were going to slaughter chickens.
Oh, that's not good.
And so there's a block and there's a hatchet, and he chops the head off and he holds it, and it's shaking, and the blood is going into the blood bucket. And then once that's done, he tosses it into the big bucket.
You're a dark dude.
Oh God! I'm 12 and I'm looking at this and I'm frightened.
Yeah, of course.
And he does about 8 or 10, and then he gives it to my brother, and my brother who's 14 has to do it, and he's got the chicken. He's shaking. I could see him on the chopping block, and he goes like this, and he turns his head. And it goes right into the comb of the chicken. Lets it go, and the chicken like this.
You're a dark. I'm not advocating this at all.
My grandfather, "What the hell are you doing there? Let me show you." And it goes like this to me, and I go. I take it and I go, "Okay, first take the chicken by the legs, make sure the wings are down, and then transfer it so you have it in one hand. Pick up the hatchet. By God, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this." Boom! I did it.
Oh.
The head goes plop, and then I put the chicken over the blood bucket, and I think, oh, I got to put down the hatchet. And as I'm thinking of where I'm putting down the hatchet, the wings from the chicken got loose from my hand, and I dipped it down too far into the blood bucket.
Oh.
And now it's like, I look like Carrie. It was like, and I'm like, and I dropped the chicken, the bloody chicken's running all over the yard. My grandfather, "What the hell are you doing there?"
Well, that's hilarious, Mark.
We had the hardest time when we got married and we went in to, get his green card.
Yeah.
They gave us the hardest time in the world. That guy was staring at us, and it didn't look good either, because he'd say like, "So, you don't have the same mailing address." "Well, no, we don't, because..."
Oh, maybe he thought you were trying to,
Yes, and he said, "And you're an actress?" And yeah. He said, "And you've kept your name?" "Well, yeah, because I'm an actress." He's like, "Oh, really? And so, have you been in anything that I would have seen?"
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't buying it. And I said, well, I started getting nervous. And I said, "Well, I'm on a TV show that..." He said, "Oh, really? Well, what's that called?" I said, "Well, it's called Friends." And he's like, "Oh, really? You're on Friends? And who do you play?"
Wow.
"Well, I play the character's name is Phoebe." And he went, "Oh."
Oh, yeah, really?
And he had 3 observers that were learning how to do his job in the room, and they were all like, oh, like the whole time. And then he was really nice, and he was very apologetic, and, you know.
Yeah. I was down in Nashville recently. You ever been down there?
I used to live in Nashville.
No way.
Yeah, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Really? I lived in Nashville twice and went to high school. This is where my love for traditional country music comes into.
Yeah.
So, really quick story. Right there on Broad Street where Tootsie's is and all those country bars.
Right, yeah.
Right? The very first car that I was able to buy when I was 15, I was hanging out in the bars, which I shouldn't have been doing when I was 15.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? You know how it is.
Yeah.
Bought my first car from a crackhead on Broad Street.
Really?
Yeah. And I was
How'd that
15
work
years
out?
old. Well, I was 15 years old. I had my license because in Hawaii, we were able to get our license when we were 14.
Right.
So I was there. Crackhead came in. Hey, do you guys want to buy a car? I said, yeah, how much? He goes, well, what do you got? I said, I'll give you 75 for it. He's like, okay. And I said, well, I'll only give you 30 now, and I'll come back and give you the 45 in about an hour. He's like, okay.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. Come on, another
Come on.
one. Yeah.
So me and my buddy take it. We take the car. We're driving down the highway. It was one of those. It was 1970-something Thunderbird with a big body and a big back seat that has a big floor.
Right.
So as we're driving, we hear some rustling in the back.
Uh-oh.
We look back there. There's another crackhead passed out on the floor. True story. So we pull over and he's like, yeah, you got to get out. And he goes, oh, where's my buddy? I was like, I don't know. Well, we just bought this car. You got to get out of here. So he gets out. Next day, I go to put gas in the car. No papers, nothing. The car's probably stolen. And the crackhead didn't give me the gas key.
Oh, man. Don't you hate that?
So I had left it in a Burger King. But that is my Nashville, one of my Nashville stories.
Well, I bought a hat. That was it.
That's it.
All right, let's get out of here. Tell me about Top Gear. You were going to tell me about Top Gear.
Oh, if you want to hear, do you know that show Top Gear?
Yeah.
It gets the most viewership there in London. Anyway, they talk about cars, and I'm not really even a car person, but you compete against other celebrity types to see who can drive fastest around a track. They teach you how to race cars.
That doesn't sound bad to me at all.
It's fun. It's fun. Anyway.
Can you kill the other celebrities?
Oh, you're not on the track at the same time as the other celebrities.
I see. I'm beginning to lose interest.
Tom Cruise had been on the week before.
Okay.
I raced. I did my race. Tom Cruise had studied very hard for it. My car that they were teaching me in the hour before I did it, died 10 minutes before I had to, go around the track, and so I had to learn an automatic. With my left.
Drive an automatic?
Years ago, and then certainly never with my left hand.
Oh, yeah.
Because the thing's on the right. So I did it, but they were encouraging me. They said, "Oh, you're doing so well. Oh, this is going to be a very exciting finish."
Did he beat you?
Well, and then I go into the thing, and they interview me. They said, "How do you think you did?" I said, "I think I did pretty good." They said, "But you never got out of third gear." There was a fourth and fifth gear, and they'd said to me, that goes as fast as any gear. You don't have to go to fourth or fifth gear. And so I told them, I said, that's what they told me.
Yeah.
They said, no, not true.
Tom Cruise would have gone to fifth gear.
He did.
Yeah.
Anyway, I came in well last. And for the rest of my time in London, everybody who'd seen that show said, oh, Jeff Goldblum, third gear, third gear.
Well, no one's saying that here, Jeff. We love you here.
Thank you
To
very
me,
much.
you're always in fifth gear. So listen, your mother
Yes.
was Scottish, your father was Italian.
That's right.
Have you been over to the old countries, either one of them?
I have. I took my mother back to Scotland, which was an interesting. She hadn't been. My mother came to this country when she was 11 by herself. It was a very sad story. My grandmother had run off with another man. My grandfather had 6 kids to raise. My mother was the youngest, and he couldn't afford to take care of one of the kids. So they put her on a boat and they sent her to America.
Wow.
So she comes here when she's 11 by herself, and so. I said, Mom, I'm going to take you back to Scotland. Oh, well, don't you want to go? Oh, well, I can't figure out why she doesn't want to go, because I know she wants to go.
All right.
So it turns out my father, who was a prize fighter, very loud Italian guy, he took my mother down to get her citizenship papers. And to become a citizen, if you had more than 5 questions wrong, you didn't pass.
Wow.
So my mother got 5 questions wrong, and the 6th question was, what is the U.S. Constitution? And my mother said, it's a boat. And the judge said, well, you fail. My father said, what? It's a boat. It's in Boston Harbor. It's a boat. No,
It is a boat.
So my father argued with the judge. The judge went, oh, fine. Get out. You're sick. Get out. So 60 years go by. And my mother is afraid that the judge has put a note somewhere
Don't let her back in.
So I take her down to get her passport, and she's shaking like this. And finally I go, "Ma, what's the matter?" "Well, I'm afraid that..." And she tells me the story. And I go, "I think you're fine, Ma."
Yeah, oh dear. The trajectory, I tell you a young man story. You know, my older brother, Pat, got his first motorbike.
Yeah.
My dad's out with a bunch of friends at a ranch in Texas. It's getting late. One guy's 6'6", and they're talking about who could be the highest, right?
Right.
And there's this old
Guys
bike.
on their own. That's what you're talking about. I know.
Right?
What do you do when you go up there? Oh, nothing.
You know, wow. So my dad says he sees this little motorcycle over in the corner, and he says, he goes, "I'll bet you that motorcycle that my son can pee over your head to the guy who's 6'6" and 6'6". And I go, "No, there's no way." Well, Dad leaves the ranch, drives an hour and a half back to our hometown, wakes my brother up who's sleeping in his tidy whities. "What do you do when you're 8 years old and you get up at 2 in the morning? You want to go pee?" Pop's like, "No. Come on," puts him in the truck, drives him an hour and a half back. The guy gets up there, puts the mark on the wall, and my little brother gets up and goes, "Wow!" Drove home with his first motorcycle.
That's fantastic.
That's true story.
That's when you were doing stuff with all those guys and that thing, you know.
I knew a few of those guys.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I did a favor for one of them one night.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, this is a true story. I did a benefit for a guy named Boom Boom Giorno. And
You do a favor for a guy called Boom Boom?
I said, no, it was for the Boys Town of Italy.
Okay.
And at the end of the evening, I was the MC. Boom Boom was walking me to my car, and he says, "You did a good job, kid." I says, "Thanks, Boom Boom." He said, "Listen, when I talked to the guys, we owe you a favor." I says, "Boom Boom, I don't need any favors." He says, we don't like to owe favors."
Oh.
So I said, "You don't like to owe favors?" No, we don't like to owe favors. What can we do for you?" I said, "Well, what do you got in mind?" He said, 5 words. You'll never hear those 5 words. This people will never hear those 5 words. He said, "Got anybody you don't like?"
Do you have a number for Boom Boom?
Tell you the truth, the first thing you think of, if that's ever said to you by a member of the mafia, is names.
Yeah, I know.
I thought of the
I thought of a couple right there.
I thought of the general manager at Channel 4 where I was working. I saved his life that night.
Yeah?
And finally, he said, "Well, we got to do something for you." So I said, "Okay, you like horse racing?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Okay, we'll be in touch." And I get a call one morning. A strange voice just said, "Apple tree in the 3rd today at Hialeah."
Oh.
Ooh. So I took all the money I had. I go out to Hialeah, put it all on Apple tree. Horses are going in the gate. I said to myself, there were 3 sure things in life: death, taxes, and apple trees.
I had, in all honesty, I had my most embarrassing moment on the set of that movie a couple weeks ago.
Till now.
Until now, obviously. But I find that at work, much like you, I'm rarely caught off guard. Like, you can kind of work through any joke, and sometimes I feel like I make a living embarrassing myself. And towards the end of the film, I play a publicist, and I'm giving my brother a wedding gift, and I'm supposed to introduce Hall & Oates. And I say, I had a tough time deciding what to get you, but then I found the perfect gift. Ladies and gentlemen, Daryl Hall and John Oates. So on the day, I have the entire cast in front of me, Daryl Hall, John Oates right behind me.
The real
ones? As if they were here. Oh yeah, the real ones.
Oh, wow.
I get up stage and I say, you know, it took a long time to figure out what to get you guys for your wedding, but then I thought, the perfect gift. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no!
Completely blanked on where I was, what I was wearing. I mean, no idea. Completely forgot their names. I mean, they're music icons, Craig. Even you know that.
Yeah, too, yeah. What are you, little...
No, believe it or not. I mean, I had a lot of Diet Coke, yes.
Okay.
But the thing was, because they're not Hall and Oates, they like to go by their first names, so Daryl Hall and John Oates. And all of a sudden through my head, I was going, Dick Hall, Mickey Oates, Ron Hall, Jimmy Oates. And I was going through all these things in my head, and I couldn't, and I was looking at my cast, completely caught off guard, and they're all whispering it to me. So finally, I yelled the name, run off stage, and then I came home, and my boyfriend said to me, you know what you should have said? Ladies and gentlemen, Daryl Hannah and Quaker Oats.
Yes. Yes.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But it won't be in the movie, but I do kind of hope that it will be on the DVD extras somewhere. My most embarrassing moment, because it's just utter fear.